Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and today I have a double page layout. This is day 2 of our Savannah Tybee Island little trip. It's the boys' first beach vacation and first vacation where we really got to kind of do a lot of fun things in my favorite city, Savannah. So this was our Savannah day. So we kind of woke up and got ready, and then we drove into town and we decided to do the trolley tour. It's always one of our favorite ways to get around the city. It's a lot bigger than St. Augustine, so it's really hard to really walk the whole thing comfortably. But they have this little hop on, hop off trolley, and Bennett and Avery especially, like, he was dying to be on the trolley. Like, he got so excited every time he saw one, and Bennett too. They wanted to ride one so bad, so we were really excited that that was part of the plan. So we kind of did the hop on, hop off trolley, and one of the places I really wanted to take them was somewhere that I found on TikTok as a place that was really highly recommended to take kids if you're in Savannah. So on River Street, there is an old Savannah power plant that has been renovated and turned into a hotel called the JW Marriott. And the lobby is just this amazing architectural, massive space, and they have this beautiful collection of rocks and fossils. It was so cool, and it's free. You just walk in and look around. You don't have to pay anything, and it was incredible. I mean, it didn't take a ton of time, but it was so worth it to stop. And I cannot believe all the time I've been to Savannah that I did not know that this was here. So I really wanted to document that experience. They also had a little scavenger hunt for the boys, and oh my gosh, the guy that kind of gave them their mission, he was in character. Like, you guys, like, I lost some dinosaurs. I need your help. Like, can you? And he gave them this little map with all of these kind of fossil outlines, and they had these tiles in the floor basically spaced out around the whole lobby, and they had to go and find all of them, circle them on the map, and then bring it back to him for a prize. And it was just so fun. And I forgot who took this picture. I don't know if it was my mom or my sister that took this picture of Avery, and he's walking with his little map and pencil, and it's just the cutest thing ever. I love this. It was probably like the smallest, shortest part of our trip, but it was like one of my favorites because it was just so much fun. And the collection they had was actually insane. I mean, they had one story slabs of malachite and chevron amethyst and like all of these different crystals. It was just so cool. Right when you walk in the doors, you're met with these really big citrine geodes. That is the orange crystal that Bennett's leaning on, and then there's this huge display case to the left of that with these really impressive specimens, which is, the amethyst that Avery and Bennett are posing in front of in the other picture. And it was just so cool. They had a massive Bronchiosaurus fossil that was chrome dipped and suspended from the ceiling. I mean, it was really cool. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really wanted to document it. So I have a double page here where I just figured I could get all the photos on here. Again, I'm piecing it together because I'm a psycho and I cannot waste paper. I can't do it. So I'm trying to be frugal. I'm trying to stretch these papers across two 12 by 12s without having to cut into more than one of the same paper. And I'm just trying to use some scraps I've already accumulated with the aqua and the rainbow stripe. Again, I just love how the stripe looks in smaller pieces. So I'm continuing that through this page as well and just using it as, strips running across the top and bottom of both layouts. I also have this cloud I'm running across the top and bottom of both layouts. And then I decided to go into my die cuts with a view companion paper pad that I'm pulling in this month to kind of beef out this Simple Stories collection, and just decided to pull a couple papers out of that because I have plenty of paper in that paper pad and I have doubles in that paper pad, so I'd rather snitch paper from that than use a bunch of 12 by 12s from my Simple Stories line. So I went with this nice dark green as the background. I really wanted something rich that kind of matched the darkness. I kind of think this dark green matches the walls that you can see in that one photo with Bennett laying on that rock. And yeah, so I thought about using that cloud tag. I just liked the concept of pulling that aqua down into this dark green section. So you see that a lot, but I end up not using that. But yeah, now that I have what paper is going to kind of create the base of the layout, I'm just going to stop and kind of get this portion all glued down, and then I can kind of figure out what I want to layer the photos in and embellishment and that kind of thing. But look at this picture of Avery. Oh my gosh, him and that little pencil with he was on a mission to find these dinosaurs. It was amazing. And when they finished, there was like a whole bin of like little mini stuffed dinosaur animals, and they both got to pick one. So I just thought that was so cool, and it was free, and they got like a little reward that they got to take home, like their first souvenir. And I just thought it was like the most perfect souvenir. That was a little dinosaur, because it just fit, the whole adventure of, this part of our trip. So here I'm going into that paper pad again. I'm obsessed with that paper pad too, and I think it coordinates so well with this one. But I decided to go in with this kind of two-tone darker red. It kind of matches the carpet in one area of the photos, and I wanted to pull in some more color from that multicolored strip, and I needed something that would kind of stand up to this darker green background. So I'm just trying to play now with making sure that whatever colors I'm bringing in, it's going to be balanced across both layouts. And I kind of really want this to read as just one giant layout instead of two separate companion pages. So I'm really trying to stretch these elements and line them up across the crease, the seam. So that's the plan. So now I'm just, again, trying to piece together this second layout. You can see there's a picture that my sister took of us in a mirror, and you can see in that one of the slabs, one of the one-story slabs of crystals, that orangey one. I don't know if that's an agate or what that was, but I just thought it was so cool. I need to find some video of this place, and I'll try to insert it at the end of this video because it was just really cool. And then there's another picture of me touching this like massive white milky quartz crystal. It just was really cool. I appreciated, like, they had obviously like the really nice and the really delicate stuff behind display cases, but like all the sturdy stuff they just had out for you to experience. And I just really appreciated that that you were allowed to just go up to these things and touch them. Like, it was just so cool. I'm such a big rock nerd, and I just love kind of that kind of stuff, and just these big pieces. I was just nerding out. It was so much fun. So piecing together this second layout and just trying to be strategic about where I'm putting papers as to be as not wasteful as possible. So I wanted another paper to be a contrasting paper to mat the two 4x4s that are stacked on top of each other. So I went with this nice light green. That's another color that was in the multicolored stripe that I thought went really well with the papers I was already using. And I decided just to mat both of these together in this one paper, just to break up the red and just add another complementary color into the mix. And I only did it around 3 corners because I knew this photo was going to be lined up against the seam. And then I just had to go back after I lined the pages back up and add another little strip to the first page so that it looks like the mat is complete and that it runs onto the first layout. That'll make more sense when I actually do it, but this is just my workaround, again, to be frugal, like ridiculously frugal. I don't have to do this, but I cannot help myself, especially if I really like the paper. I want to have it to include on the other pages as I go. So I wanted to save what I could. So it is what it is. I had such a good kit going into this first quarter of this year, and already I'm hoarding so much, like I'm worried I'm not going to get through it, which I could have gotten through it if I didn't hoard, but I can't help myself. So that's where we are. Gluing down this orangey piece. And I need to start thinking about embellishment soon. One thing I knew for sure I wanted to get on here was the chipboard travel title. I really want to kind of get these bigger titles used up. I don't want those left over once I get through the Savannah portion, because then I'm going to be trying to use this kit for non-travel things, and I don't want all these travel sentiments left over that I then can't use on those pages. So I'm trying to be very cognizant and get them used up while I can while I'm documenting travel. Anything that is left over from this kit, I'm definitely saving for when I document my honeymoon cruise. So if there's travel stuff left over, that's where it'll end up going. But I'm really going to try and kill this kit to the best of my ability. So we'll see. There's also this little captured memories die cut that I thought was really sweet, layered underneath that travel piece. So I'm going to go ahead and commit because I really like how that looks. And then I definitely want to put an actual title on here. I've been really bad with titles lately, I feel like. I think it's because I get discouraged when I go to my alpha stash and like the alphas I want to use like don't have the letters I need. But I knew I wanted kind of a white alpha to pop off of this dark green background, so I found an alpha sheet that I have like 5 sets of, and I'm on the last one of being unopened. But I do want to do a title that says where we are and a little bit of journaling, just because I really want to document this journey and explain some of the pictures, especially because if I'm looking back on this later, I might not understand why there's a picture of Avery walking around with like a paper and pencil. So I wanted to make sure I documented that. Here's where I go back and add that little green strips that looks like a full frame, but that's going on the first page since it's overlapping. And that's another thing I like to do to kind of make these read as one big layout. So I'm going to get that stuck down. But then this is pretty much all the paper is done. I just need to embellish title journal. So this portion, though, came together pretty quick. I just really loved all of this. And I fight with this little tag for a while, and then I just realized it's causing more problems than it's worth, and I'm not going to use it. But I do have another one of these little fringy scallopy tags from the Felicity Jane Aspen collection, I believe. And I really liked the idea of pulling in some yellow. So I do end up pulling in that little scallopy fringe. And I do want that on both pages so that it's balanced. I thought it would be weird if it was only on this left-hand page. So I'm going to overlap it in a way where I can kind of gut the end of it and squeeze it onto the second page, just so that's also on both sides, which I really like. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down. Here's that other fringe piece I'm going to tuck on the opposite side. And then I need to figure out some embellishment. I really got stuck on the embellishment again, just because this one in particular, because like it is so travel themed that like I didn't want to put an airplane or a hotel key like on this page, although this was technically the lobby of a hotel, even though it wasn't the hotel we stayed at, so I could have used some of the hotel stuff, I guess. But for me, this part of the trip was just so much just about this like museum they had in the lobby that it kind of spaced my mind when I was creating this that it was a hotel and I could have done that. So going through the tags to see if there's any other tag I might want to use, since I decided not to use the cloud tag, and I decided not to use any tags at all just because when I was trying to move around the one tag, it was just creating a weird layout. I don't know. I didn't like it. So I'm going to go through the rest of the ephemera really quick to pull out anything I think might go. And honestly, it's more of the like neutrally kind of stuff. A couple of orange pieces. I really liked the journaling piece that was that rainbow stripe, just because I thought that would pull the rainbow from the top and the bottom into the layout a little bit. So I like that one. I like this little orange "You Are Here" chipboard pull tab. I think is really cool. And then I think I use the arrow that says favorite place. That's also orange. So that's what I decided to go with. So I'm going to layer that little "You Are Here" tab kind of up there between those two photos. And I'm going to play around with these arrows. I like the favorite place arrow on the right-hand page, kind of overlapping the scallop. But this is pretty much what I get on here, because once I do my title and my journaling and finishing touches, I feel like it looks good. So I thought I was going to get a lot more ephemera on here, and then I just didn't want to add a bunch of stuff on here. So I kind of stick with this. I am popping this little favorite place up on some foam. I'm going to pop the little rainbow stripe journaling piece up on some foam. And then the You Are Here chipboard already has a little bit of dimension, which I like. That kind of plays off the travel chipboard piece that I already have down. So I'm going to get these stuck down. And then I think I will start doing the title. I think. I can't remember. So we'll see. I made this page, I think before Christmas, and then I mentioned in the last process video that Bennett gave us all this stomach bug on Christmas, so we were out of commission for the next couple days, and I'm still recovering from that, which is why my throat is my voice is a little smokier than normal. But all that to say that it's been a little while since I made this page and then doing the voiceover, so I'm trying to remember what order I do everything in. But this font, I think, is like my only white font that I had enough letters in. And I think I opened the last pack and used all of the ends. So that's going to be really frustrating when I want to use this alpha again. In my plan was to use this alpha to spell out the JW Marriott. And I'm aware that I missed the O. I did go back and fix it. But unfortunately for this process video and the close-ups at the end, it's spelled without the O. I was just so focused on getting this title down. So it's the JW Marriott for right now. And then I wanted to use a smaller white alpha to spell out Savannah plants underneath it, because that's another part of the history I just think is really cool. That I actually learned about after the fact when I was looking up what this place was called, because I'd forgotten. I just think it's so cool. This place used to be a power plant. I think that's the coolest thing. So they call it the JW Savannah plant because of that. And I thought I really wanted to use the smaller alpha to say Savannah plant. But of course I did not have the letters that I needed. So I had to go back to the bigger alpha sheet and spell out Savannah plant, which used all my ends. So sad. Why don't they give you more ends? We need more than 3 ends. Yeah, I don't need 5 U's. Look, there's 5 U's on that sheet, and they only gave me 3 ends. No, thank you. So I'm going to spell this out, and then I'm going to do my journaling. My plan was to do my journaling all in white. I just love the way this white pops off of the dark background. But you'll see what goes wrong with that. I have to change gears a little bit, but we're almost done with this. So it did space out really well. I really like how it filled up that corner, because that corner was looking very blank, especially when these pages were together. So I'm glad that this kind of spaced out the way it did. And now I'm going to go in with my ruler and my white gel pen. I love these white jelly rollers, and I had 2 of them, and one of them is out and one of them isn't, and I forgot which one it was, but I figured out which one didn't work and threw it away so that I don't keep doing that to myself. And then I'm going to do my lines really quick before I do my journaling with the white, just so I can write straight. And I'm just kind of do my lines along the side, tapering down. I think that looks really cool. I just love the way this white looks on the dark background. I think it looks so cool. And this all goes great until I actually try to start writing, and then my pen decides to die. So I was like, oh, great. I got my lines down and I committed to doing journaling, but the one pen I have that can write on this dark paper is now out. So I panicked at this point and went through my stash, and thank goodness for Moira, man. Moira, girl, you came in clutch, because she sent me a happy mail. It was a while ago. I've been hoarding this pen, okay? I love this pen. It is green and sparkly and metallic, and it shows up. It shows up on this dark paper, and it's in that green color, which, how perfect. I have all this green on this page. So I switched to this one, which I think is the same brand. I think it's a Jelly Roll pen. but it was perfect. So I was very glad I found an alternative, because otherwise I would have had to like stop mid-process and go to the store just to get another one of those white pens. But it just says, our first stop was to see this amazing rock and fossil collection in the old power plant on River Street. We had so much fun, and the boys even got to do a scavenger hunt and won their own baby stuffed dinosaur. This place was incredible. So got that down. I'm adding a couple more of those Aspen chipboard hearts. I added a couple word stickers from the sticker sheet, and I did go back and do some more acrylic paint splatter. So this is pretty much it. I'm gonna see if I have some footage from this to add at the end of this process video. But this is it here, the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.